Hi, I'm Jennifer, Nick's mom, and I'm going to be baking Nick's favorite cookie, cherry cookies. They were originally a chocolate chip cookie, and I decided one day just to take out the chocolate chips and put in cherries, which was something we really liked. And it was a hit, and it's a very delicious moist cookie, and kind of be honest, it's better than a chocolate chip. So let's start. The first step is, and it calls for 2.5 sticks of butter. You have to cream your butter. So you're going to add it in. And the butter and the brown sugar, which is 1.25 cups. And 1 cup plus 2 tablespoons of regular sugar. It's dumped into your mixer to be blended and mixed together and creamed. Let's start. First I put it on low so that the food doesn't fly all around. Then I'll gradually build up in speed until everything comes together. As you can see, it's binding. The sugar and the cream is coming together. It's lumpy looking, but it'll come together creamy. You throw it up another notch. And we'll shut it down. And we'll scrape the sides of the bowl and make sure everything does get blended really well. So I turn it on for one last round before I'm going to add my eggs one at a time. So we'll lower it and we'll add 1 egg at a time and make sure it's thoroughly mixed. It's really incorporated. And then we'll add our last egg. It only calls for 2 eggs. And you can see it. We'll mix it up. And then most important, you always need to scrape the sides of your bowl down. It's important to do that because you want to make sure everything is well blended. So the next step is we're going to add our vanilla. And it calls for just 2 teaspoons of vanilla extract. Another favorite ingredient of mine. It's like I drink my bourbon. Vanilla bourbon, vanilla flavored whiskey. It's very nice to drink out of your espresso cups. Now that we added our vanilla, we need to scrape the sides of the bowl down again. And just make sure everything is, again, really well incorporated. Okay, now that we've added our butter, sugar, eggs, vanilla, we're going to add our dry ingredients. And our dry ingredients consist of cake flour, bread flour, salt, baking powder, and baking soda. And you have to sift them together to get this nice, light, fluffy texture. And now we'll add it slowly. And as you can see, it'll change the consistency of the dough again. We need to, add the cherries. We'll just do a light mix on them. Let your dough rest in the refrigerator for a half hour, and then we'll get to baking. Okay, so now that our dough is chilled, it chilled for 30 minutes, we're ready to start baking. And I'm just using a tablespoon to drop them on, shape them up ever so slightly. And now these will go in the oven for about 18 to 20 minutes. We're ready to bake. Beautiful pillows of heaven. Okay, our cookies are ready to come out of the oven now. Oh, they're nice and golden. Look at them, so pretty. They should not be attached, but they are big. And they did combine, but that's okay. Once I cut them apart, you'll never even know it. They do get iced, and that's the sweet touch. Now, these cookies, the cherry cookies, do get a sugar topping. It's a cherry glaze that goes on top of them. I don't know how I created this recipe. Again, it was a chocolate chip cookie recipe that one day I up and decided to add cherries, chopped maraschino cherries instead of chocolate chips, bake them. It came out. I decided to add maraschino cherry juice to confectioner's sugar and then paint, literally with a brush, I paint the tops of the cookies, and they're a sensational hit. And they're now a staple, and again, my son's favorite cookie. And so there's no rhyme or reason to this measurement. I just add confectioner's sugar and cherry juice, whisk it up. I don't have any measurements to provide you with. I just wing it. You kind of can't screw that up anyway. So in this case, as you can see, it's a thicker frosting. So you can add a little bit more cherry juice, not a lot, because believe it or not, a little bit goes a long way. And you want the right consistency. And again, that for each person, that's their own choice. And it smells so delicious. Oh my gosh. I don't know what it is. I love cherries, maraschino cherries, vanilla, and sugar and butter. So this is lovely. And so it's a pretty decent consistency. I could make it thinner. I think we'll start with this and we'll see how it turns out. And if I'm happy with the way it glazes the cookie, then I'll leave it as is. If I'm not, then I'll add some more cherry juice and thin it out a little bit more. And now we're ready to ice our cookies. The only thing about this part is you need a lot of counter space, because as you brush each cookie with the icing, you want to leave them out to dry, and it takes a while. So your counter space will be consumed, including maybe your dining room table. All right, so let's start back here. These gorgeous cookies. They smell delicious. Cherries and vanilla and sweetness. And so, as you can see, I just dusted on. I'm not happy with the consistency, so I am going to thin the icing out a little bit more. And if you just come over here with me, we'll do that. So like I said, I don't have instructions or measurements on what I do with the icing. I just wing it. It's not complex. I don't sweat on it. I just do it, and then I deem what it's right. Oh, it's so beautiful. Look at that rich color. Yeah. Okay, this should be good. Let's see. Back over to the cookies. sometimes this happens. You just pull the bristle out. I don't know why. I started doing it with a paintbrush. There are these shortbread cookies I make, and for whatever reason, I make a glazed topping for those, and I just brush them on. So I'm gonna assume that's where, I don't know, I carried it over. I couldn't even tell you why. And then you leave it there to dry. And it is going to take a while. It won't dry quickly. So normally, you know, if they're done early in the morning, they can be ready to serve in the afternoon. Otherwise, it's something I normally do and let sit overnight. And then go about whatever I'm doing with them the next day. It's all just a nice little glaze. And the cookies are done.